investigation into a former top aide for Tennessee's House Speaker. Racist and vulgar text messages.
Racist text messages.
Racist text messages sent by the House Speaker's Chief of Staff. Black people are idiots.
You think that black people are idiots?
Using thug N-word.
And I question, is that how they see us? It's shameful.
How can you defend that?
And in a 2016 exchange with Casada himself, Catherine responded with this black people meme. The House Speaker claimed he never got such a text.
There's something not right about that story.
I'm convinced some liberal guy living with his mom and dad in their basement created this to frame my chief of staff.
I've never in those 10 years seen any kind of racist or bigoted action out of him.
I do not believe those are true.
But the day before, Casada had his suspicions about the source of the text messages.
You haven't released personal text messages in case with a I think you did that.
Casada had even tried to convince talk radio host Phil Valentine that the texts had been fabricated.
I don't appreciate the fact that he came on my show and lied.
How does anybody of color feel that the third most powerful man in the state of Tennessee was complicit with racism?
We're not as stupid as the Speaker's office may think we are.
Other texts showed vulgar exchanges about women with the Speaker himself.
Both men speak of women in vulgar terms.
Glen Casada says his lewd texts with former Chief of Staff Kate Cawthorn were, quote, locker room talk.
The Speaker, can I just touch? Catherine, LOL, okay, maybe just once. Catherine also texted, just did a gram of cocaine in my office at 10:38 a.m. on a work day.
Cocaine on Capitol Hill.
Cocaine on the job.
Kate Cawthorn brags about snorting cocaine inside his legislative office.
Casada himself had backed legislation in 2014 cutting off welfare recipients who tested positive for drugs. But in the case of Catherine, who makes $200,000 a year, the House Speaker was more lenient.
Our investigation also revealed Cawthorn may have attempted to have a student activist's bond revoked by framing him for contacting the Speaker.
Did House Speaker Glen Casada's office try to frame a young activist?
Did you send the altered email to the DA's office? It's a simple yes or no question.
It was a shock because it was my freedom. If this would have went through to revoke my bond, I would be in jail right now.
I know nothing of that.
How did that happen?
I know nothing. I know nothing of that. Nothing.
Speaker Casada told us his office did absolutely nothing wrong.
Were you trying to frame this young activist? If you want to defend yourself, now's the time.
This was an extreme form of retaliation where you're willing to lie to take away somebody's freedom.
Jones says that while former House Speaker Beth Harwell routinely met with his group to hear their concerns, Casada has refused.
There's an extremism. This was a mean group. You see a sort of drunkenness with power.
Of course, this follows a legislative session in which Casada repeatedly dodged questions about allegations that a member of his own party had sexually assaulted 3 teenage girls.
Did he ever touch you inappropriately?
Yes, my breast and below the belt as well.
His words were, I want you to feel how you make me feel. I want you to feel it throbbing.
His penis was between my butt cheeks.
Many in Tennessee assumed that the state representative would step down. In fact, his own party asked him to. He was just named chairman of a key education subcommittee. One of his chief defenders is Tennessee's House Speaker. The House Speaker's response, quote, if I was raped, I would move.
If I was raped, I would move and hell would have no fury.
Where should we all move?
Speaker Casada would not speak with CNN on camera.
He's admitted this on tape. That's where we disagree. He did not admit to it.
I've lived with that, and you don't know how hard it has been for me.
I'm a father of a 2-year-old daughter, and I have 2 daughters myself. So 4 granddaughters. How do you sleep at night?
He has said publicly that he's already met with me.
Have you listened to the tapes? I have. Have you listened to the victims? They came into my office and spoke.
He knows that's not true. I know it's not true. He's ran ads basically calling us liars.
I don't think they're lying. I think they're believing something that's not true.
And he went to the sides of my breast, underneath my arms.
That's something I'm still asking forgiveness for.
Liberty and justice for all.
You have to step out.
By whom? By whom?
By the General Assembly, the Speaker's office.
So Speaker Casada is kicking out these women?
We're not in session. We did not say a word during the meeting.
Oh, okay. I'm going first, I guess. I'm going willingly. You don't have to break my arm.
Disappointing view of democracy.
It's just the Speaker's office.
I don't think they had grounds to remove us.
Slowly losing any kind of trust with our public officials.
Anything that's a hindrance or a distraction has to be moved out of the way.
The right to assemble does not guarantee a silent meeting and a meeting.
I wanted to continue that announcement. The member is correct.
The Supreme Court has said that
You're unfinished business.
Shoving match involving House Speaker Glen Casada. Democrats tried to walk out. The Speaker, though, tried to lock the doors.
Why aren't they allowed out? The lawlessness and the culture of arrogance that we've seen demonstrated throughout this session.
House Speaker Glen Casada kept the vote open for 40 minutes. FBI agents have begun interviewing legislators about whether any improper incentives were offered to pass the bill. Hogue says Catherine said, "The Speaker and I need your vote on the voucher bill. What do you want?" Representative Bob Ramsey from Maryville said the suggestion was that this could favorably affect revenue expectations in my district eventually.
Democrats sent a letter to the U.S. Attorney today asking for a full investigation.
Surveillance system has been installed. An extraordinary breach of trust. From my reading of the statutes, it's a felony.
Speaker Casada, did you ask him to step down because he voted against vouchers, sir?
Why are you protecting David Byrd over there? What does David Byrd know on you, Speaker Casada?
As a Rule 2 woman and survivor, I'm disappointed Glen Casada didn't show his face here today.
We come, God, praying that our brothers here who guard this door know that we come in a spirit of nonviolence, but what is violent is racism. What is violent are these policies that deny healthcare and voting rights. What is violent is that statue that commemorates white supremacy and hatred and intolerance. That is violence, oh God. So we pray, God, that you might touch these troopers here. Let them know that there were troopers before who stood on the bridge in Selma, God, but you brought them down, God. That there were troopers who stood in the doorsteps of schools, oh God, but you brought them down, oh God.
I think it's time to go. Time to move on.
We don't need to be pulled down by Speaker Casada. He needs to step down and as Speaker and then allow Williamson County to find out if they want to keep him as a representative.
He willfully lied. If you can't go into his office and trust him to tell you the truth and walk out of it, then he's the wrong person in that office. He should resign.
Casada also lost support of Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally.
If I was in that deep water, I think I'd just go home.
I can't believe he hasn't resigned already.
It is hard not to wonder if many more voices will join him.
If at this point Glen Casada were a member of your administration or an executive at your company, would you call for him to step down? Would you ask him to resign?
I would.